How is everybody doing today? And in this video, we are actually talking about, I don't know if this is a drip marketing. It kind of isn't, but is in a little bit of a way, just because we already know we have Remembrance Path coming out with having Remembrance MC. And not only that, we also have the second half of 3.0, which is going to be Aglaea. We also know in 3.1, we're going to get My Day and also Tribi, which is going to be Harmony and Destruction. And now, funny enough, we ended up getting animations that they popped out of nowhere for 3.0 for Castorice. And Castorice animations, I'm not gonna lie, they look really freaking good. Like, aside ginormous dragon, and that animation is insane. I know it's super small, but holy crap, is that something way bigger than what we've seen Aglaea do. I'm not gonna lie. But there are a couple of things I do want to talk about recording into this, I say, drip marketing, because realistically looking at 3.2, it definitely could be Castorice. Castorice could be our either Emanator, could be our big time Remembrance character, because I do want people to think about the other archetypes that we've had in Honkai Star Roll, where the first iteration of the character doesn't mean that they're going to be the best of that archetype. It just means that's our introduction. So we have, of course, Aglaea coming out very soon. Castorice coming out being Remembrance as well with her dragon. That just looks so good. I definitely will be skipping Aglaea. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. If anybody needs any affirmation to skip Aglaea, go ahead, because Castorice looks insane. Now, for those that actually want Aglaea, go ahead and do so. If you want your first taste of the Remembrance Path, if you want a Remembrance character to play with, all the different type of stuff, go ahead 100%. If you enjoy or like the design or anything about Aglaea, go ahead, do what makes you happy when it comes to the characters in this game. But me personally, I've already went ahead and got E1 Fugue, so I'm gonna use that as my reason to not get Aglaea. And I also will be getting Herta, because I like Herta, just because I do like Herta. And that's pretty much it. I don't really want Aglaea. I kind of do want to look for My Day. Tribi might also be something I'm looking forward to as well, but Castorice is definitely the character that, as a DPS, might get put on some eidolons. I'm not gonna lie. Having a scythe, having a cool dragon, that's all what I would like. But looking at the characters that have coming out recently in terms of archetypes, there have been characters, of course, when it comes to their first iteration of the archetype, like how we have Dr. Ratio being our first prime time main DPS, single target damage dealer for follow-up. And then shortly after, we ended up getting someone like Fei Xiao, who is 1000% more synergistic with the teams that she ends up having. Same thing goes for Buhil as the super break archetype, or the break archetype in whole. He was a really good unit. He still is a really good unit, but of course the ease of access or the ease of use of Firefly definitely was going to be a step up there. And then now we have Rappa as well, who's able to not implant similar to Firefly and Buhil, but we have somebody who's able to ignore elements to get those breaks off a little easier, the same way a lot of the team at the current moment has some of that utility in their kit throughout the team. Same thing we have with Fugue, where their ultimate, it bypasses all element restrictions. So that's a really cool thing to have. It's just that as time goes by, we're gonna get these characters for certain paths. If we do get more paths, who knows? We might get propagation. We might get other paths that are in the simulated universe. So I would love a lot to see. But realistically, looking at what we have here, we're gonna see strong Remembrance characters. So this video is in a way to look over Castorice, because I do think Castorice looks really freaking cool. And of course, I make videos on drip marketing anyway, talking about what they could potentially do for the game. As we may know, this is another DPS. As we see, I can't really 100% pinpoint what we're looking at. Definitely could be something like quantum damage, just because of all the hints of purple on the character itself. I can't really say anything else than that, just because there really is no hint into what damage type they're doing. We do see that this is an actual animation in game, because one of the bosses from 3.0 is going to be inside this little trailer. So that's pretty much all we can tell from this. But holy crap, is this animation for summoning the dragon, and that the character itself is just really cool. I cannot wait to see what we're going to be looking at when it comes to what she's able to do, what type of damage she's going to do, because I'm assuming that realistically, looking at most of these Remembrance characters, a lot of their teams are going to be pretty much the same. I do expect us to run into a bunch of situations where characters like, I'm not going to lie, Luocha might make a comeback, just because looking at Luocha is able to heal everybody on the team when anybody attacks. and having characters like Mem, having characters like the Garment Maker or whoever's with Aglaea, they're doing attacks, they're healing the team. Same thing goes for characters that are helping out the team wide buff. Same thing with Adventuring. Adventuring's also going to be a pretty big buff, just because looking at Remembrance, you're getting a shield put across everybody, and that means if you have more than, let's say, 4 characters, so that means 5, 6, 7, or 8, you're getting Adventuring faster follows, which means more shields to help everybody out, and that just means more damage to the enemy as well. So that's a lot of really great stuff. And if I'm not wrong, that does apply a debuff on his signature, I think, for Acheron. So I don't know, there could be a bunch of really funny, I say, kits or teams that you can make with having this Adventuring buff with Remembrance. Same thing goes with characters like Linksha. Linksha does follow the same thing where she's healing everybody, and also if anybody gets lower than half, she's gonna get that auto heal. There's a bunch of different characters, ooh, especially like REHOO, because a lot of these Remembrance characters, their ults are expensive. A lot of the characters right now in 3.0 realistically have their energy cost a little bit higher than usual, so REHOO is actually going to look really good as well when it comes to how, I guess you could say, potent a lot of these guys buffs are. Ruan Mei is the same thing, Robin is the same thing, and Sundays in particular, we don't have a character right now that is able to ease of use go ahead and boost up a summon and its user. So realistically, Sunday is still looking really good. Now if you don't have Sunday, Aglaea and I'm pretty sure Castorice are gonna want them 100%. There are gonna be some characters that can circumvent this. Same thing with how we have Robin. Robin works for Memo Sprite, so you can boost them up with Robin. But realistically, Sunday is definitely gonna be that character. I don't know realistically if Sunday is gonna be that character where he's not gonna be power crept, and if he is power crept, it's probably gonna be towards the later end of the patch, because I just don't see them dropping this many harmonies back to back with us having Sunday in 2.7. We have Tribute in 3.1, and then going into the 3.0 saga, I don't know if I'm gonna expect another harmony character that relates to the summons as hard as Sunday does, because Sunday just gives a crap ton of benefits. We'll have to wait and see whenever his next rerun is going to be here. That is when we'll be looking at if he's gonna be worth it or not, because if that's the case, we're gonna have to either see if he gets power crept or if he's going to make it all the way up until 3.0 and he's just a dedicated summon user, which is 100% fine as long as we don't have a Sparkle situation where she comes out and then we have Robin come out right after. Same thing with Sunday. Sunday comes out and then we have someone like a summon Robin for some reason. I don't know, maybe they just give more boost to Memo Sprites and all that different type of stuff. We'll have to see, I'm not gonna lie, but realistically I am very excited for Castorice to come out. I do think the 3.2 patch might include her, just because realistically a lot of the Hoyo games, or I guess you could say Genshin particularly, whenever they go into their Archon, I think it's the 0.2 of a patch, that's when they end up dropping their like strongest unit for the entire patch. So it could be following the same format. They do the same thing with having Castorice coming on 3.2 being a, I'm assuming, quantum DPS, possibly, potentially. We'll have to wait and see how that works out, but overall just very excited of this character and what she could possibly do, just because she looks really cool, I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Always a video. See you guys in the next one. Peace.